welcome to Small Talk with Kenya and Dawn. I'm Dawn.
And I'm Kenya.
So today we are going to be discussing the worth of a woman. This topic came to us in our Sunday school lesson, and we thought it was going to be something that would be great to talk about. So Kenya, when I hear a woman's worth, I'm thinking of what we bring to the table. I'm also thinking of how our contribution to our household, to our church, to our employment, just everything around us that we're involved in. But I don't believe that we as women give ourselves enough credit.
Absolutely not.
For the things that we do. And we had done a discussion before, and we talked about the many hats that women wear. And we are nurses, we are wives, we are mothers, we are daughters, chauffeurs. We do so many different things. Housekeepers, household management. We do so many different things, but do we really know what our worth is? What do you think?
I don't think we always know. I think we are just doing those things because I know we have to do those things. We step into one role and out of that role into the next role. We forgot about our regular job, our 9 to 5s, that we do that role as well. And we just do things as we go along every day. And we keep order in all of those things. But in doing those things are just things that have to be done. It still does not tell us what we are worth. It just tells us that we are doing many different things. We are holding many different things down. And I think sometimes, or many times, we really don't absolutely take the time to understand who we really are and how worthy we are. So,
what we bring to the table. And we went back and it started with the Sunday school lesson, even with Eve.
yes.
And how everything got started in the Garden of Eden when Eve made the decision to eat the fruit. How Adam was there with her while she decided to go ahead and take that bite. But I think it kind of almost, it seems to me, it diminished Eve some when she did that. And I'm wondering, does that kind of carry over into who we are today? Does it seem to diminish who we are because of the mistake that was made back then?
Wow. I never thought about it that way.
I didn't think about it either until just now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just something that just really just crossed my mind when that happened all those thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
The way that Eve is looked at, it to me, it just seems like her worth was kind of, it was taken down a little bit.
I think it was because for a very long time, until I understood Eve's worth, I was kind of mad at her. And I always joked and said, I can't wait to get up there and have a little talk with Eve because of all the things and problems that she left here. But when I was really taught her worth and why, and how God made woman in the same image that he made man in, which is in the image of him, and truly understood that, then I had more respect for Eve.
Yeah.
And having that respect for Eve, it gave me greater respect for not just other women, but myself as well. Because as you just said a few minutes ago, all the things that we do every day, we just look at it as things we do every day. But most men can't do what we do every day.
No,
I mean,
no, they definitely they can't do everything that we do every single day.
Right.
I just knowing different men and the wives and their husbands, and you hear men say, "I don't know how my wife does it."
Yeah.
Well, because we've been given those tools to be able to do those things. And even when Eve messed up, even when she messed up, God wasn't surprised that she was messed up. He knew what she was going to do because He is God. He's God. God knows it all.
Absolutely.
But He made a way for us, of course, to come back to Christ.
Absolutely.
But even in her mistake, look at what comes from us.
Yes.
The nurturing aspect comes from us. We had the ability, God gave us what we needed to be able to birth.
Yes. Yes.
We are fortunate enough to birth ministries.
Yes.
We birth children. We birth and things that are going on in our household. We have ideas that are manifested and they come to life through that birthing process. But are we as women, do we realize what we really are worth?
I don't think we do. I truly don't think we do.
Labor pains. I've when my husband, I hate to pick on my husband, but when my husband gets a cold, he's in the bed, he's laid out, covers are up to his neck, and he's fighting it, right? And then when I think about it, and I said, God knew he couldn't handle having a baby. There's no way in the world
No way.
that he could have taken that kind of pain.
No way.
But just with that in itself, that is so, it's huge. It's huge that God allowed us to be able to take those things on.
Yeah.
Because he knew in his infinite wisdom that a man wouldn't be able to handle that. Just that in itself, you're like, goodness.
The strength they had.
Yes. Yes.
The things that they can do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the pain
Yes.
that they could never endure.
They can never endure. They could never endure that. I've watched him lift, hundreds of pounds. Back in his day, he lifted hundreds of pounds. But I know that he could never do that.
And just think of him being in the room with you during the delivery.
Mm-hmm.
He felt none of the pain,
He didn't.
but he probably looked as if he did.
Yeah. Yeah, the look on his face, yes, definitely he did. But he didn't have to endure those things.
Not one.
He did not have to endure that.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back at those things, but I look at the emotional things that women go through. Not just the physical, but I look at the emotional things that we go through. So many ups and downs, just our bodies, in itself, and age.
Yeah.
So many different things that come along with age, but we have to adjust. And when you think about all of that tied in together, do we know our worth? Do we know how much we are needed here on this earth? Because despite what anybody wants to think or say, a man cannot have a baby.
Nope. Never will.
God designed that thing perfectly for a man and a woman to be able to have a child. Do we realize what we are able to give? And are we valued? What do you think?
I don't think so. Man, so many things going through my mind right now. Just to go back to even just to be able to produce life. God took man from dust, put Adam to sleep, and took a rib and formed woman. He formed a woman,
Yes.
the same but different.
Yes. Yes.
So we're able to produce life and bring these beings into earth, and we're able to birth spiritual things into this earth and help our husbands bring goals and dreams to life into this earth.
Yes.
And run our households and carry our kids to bring forth their dreams and to help them get all the things that we're doing. I mean, God just took one rib and started producing women to do all of these things. And even going back to some of the women in the Bible, some of them are not even given a name, but they do some powerful things.
Yes, they do.
And we think, and all of the things you said, you talked about emotions. And I think about some of the women that I see just in passing that I don't know. And I think about all the burdens that women carry sometimes that people really don't ever know, because we're that strong. We carry it so well. We'll carry it and smile and still care for other people, and we'll put ourselves on the back burner.
Yes, we do.
And we'll still take care of everybody else because of that the nurturing part that God gave us. And it's so many things, and even I just thought about when we were talking about all the things that women do. I remember my grandmother when her and my grandfather had cancer, and I remember she said, I wish his pain was my pain because I can handle it better than him. And when she said it, it didn't make sense to me. But as I watched them, or as I watched him handle his, and I watched her handle hers, I understood it. But even as I got older, being a wife and a mother, and carrying the things that a woman carries, I understand. And I think we as women truly need to, we get one day, other than birthdays, Valentine's, all of the things, when Mother's Day come around, whether you birth a child into this world or not, every woman needs to be celebrated. Because in some way, you are producing something into somebody's life, and you are worthy. Because there are so many things that women are doing every day, and so much value that we are bringing every day.
Yes.
So many things. I mean, you brought out a lot of good points. I mean, things I didn't even think about.
Yeah. It's funny that when we have these conversations, that stuff just kind of just flows out, because it's nothing scripted here. We're just talking. We're just having just small talk here. But let me go back to you, because that was a great point that you made about your grandparents and how your grandmother wanted to take on your grandfather, her husband's pain, because she knew that she could probably endure that better than what he could. But also think about how selfless she was. That she was in the pain that she was, but she was willing
Still
to take on what he was feeling physically. And probably not just even physically, but mentally as well, because their illness and, you know, what they went through is taxing on your mind.
Absolutely.
It really, really can mess with your head. But she wanted to do that.
She knew she could handle it better than he could. Man, I thought, wow.
That's oh goodness.
Wow.
Are we willing to do that today?
Yes, because we do it every day.
Because we do it every day.
We do it every day. And you went, you talked about your husband, he get a cold and it covers up to his neck. You know, and I hate to pick on my husband, man, I hate to. But I remember I went in the hospital and he had one job, and that was just to keep up with my cell phone. And he lost it. And I remember waking up and he just had this distressed look on his face. And I was like, man, you know, is something wrong? You know, the surgery didn't go good? And he was like, well, babe, don't panic. And I was starting to panic and panicking, thinking something was wrong. He was like, I lost your phone. And I remember thinking, I can't even have surgery. I was just so mad. And he blamed the kids, and he looked at me, and he was trying to make sure I wasn't upset. And even back in that moment, as I sit here and, you know, as you were talking, I was thinking about all these things. And even waking up out of this anesthesia, I was directing him. I said, baby, go find my phone. Look at my phone and find my phone. And even in that moment, we are still, you can be sick, he can be sick. And he's going to be down, and you're going to be up taking care of the both of you. And I don't even believe, we say it in that moment, but I don't even believe we understand the strength we're carrying, or we're even standing in that moment. Because we do it so much and we do it so effortless.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we want to make sure that everyone else is taken care of,
Yes.
even when we're not taken care of.
Absolutely.
We're looking out for other people,
Other people. Yeah.
especially our families. We want to make sure that, you know, our husbands are good, that our children are good, grandchildren are good,
Yeah.
parents are good,
Yeah.
you know, brothers, sisters. We just want to make sure that our village is okay.
Yeah.
And we put ourselves on the back burner.
Every time.
It's like we can't even heal properly because we're worried about somebody else,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But do we understand we can't slight ourselves?
We can't, and we absolutely have to stop because, you know, earlier when we were talking about it, and when we think about being made in God's image, we are just as important. We are equally
Yes.
important,
Yes.
but we treat ourselves as we're not. But if God made man in his image and made us in man's image, we are just as important.
That's right. Because what was it when we were talking? It was in Sunday school, the extension.
Ooh, yes.
It was the extension.
Extension.
The extension of
Yes.
God
The extension of God is man,
is man,
and the extension of man
is woman.
Yes.
It amazes me. Sometimes I think about stuff, and when I think about just how our makeup is,
Yes.
and how good, how God orchestrated, how He did everything from head to toe, but how He did things so differently with women.
Yes.
We have, and I'm not talking about magical stuff, but we have a power that man can't duplicate.
No matter how hard they try.
Mm-mm.
No matter how hard they keep trying.
Mm-mm. And I think about, that makes me feel special.
Yes.
That He thought enough about us to make us different because He wanted to use us for a specific work.
Yes.
And I just don't think sometimes we stop because we're so busy and going 100 different directions that we just take the time to say, God, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for doing this.
Yes.
Thank you for making me the way that you did. Thank you for all those years ago, how you put into place what I would need physically on the outside and the inside to be able to birth out what you want in existence, and how He just uses us as a vessel to be able to do those things.
And He said, I'm going to choose you to do that.
Yes.
You get to be my special daughter
Yes.
to do that special work.
Yeah. I don't know. It really does. It makes me feel so good.
Yes.
And especially when I see my children. And I'm so thankful that He entrusted those girls with me. And I want to do everything I can to make sure that I'm pouring back into them correctly. Do I get it right all the time? No. Do I get it right 50% of the time? Probably not. I don't know, because there's no measuring stick for that.
Right.
But I just want to put my best foot forward.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to try because I know I can see what's inside of them as well that is also ready to be birthed out, not just through children, but also through ministry, just doing different things that God is calling them to do, and it just makes me feel so good as a parent.
It does.
It makes me feel really, really good as a parent. When you look at your daughters, what do you think? What do you see?
You know, when you said that, it just reminded me of something. That's one of my prayers. I always thank God. I said, you know, God, you trusted us with these children. You know, you chose these three for us. And I get elated because I look at my kids and I'm like, and I always tell my husband, I'm always like, other people constantly remind us, when they getting on my nerve, other people remind us that we did something right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Because just as what you said, not just to produce kids, but they're producing greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not for everybody to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at the hearts of
Mhm.
our kids,
Mm-hmm.
and and they just they love people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing that you want to at least get right. You want to produce, you want your kids to have good hearts.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to have a love for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell my husband, I say, they get on our nerves a lot, but other people will constantly remind us that they are good kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, Lord, I thank you. You blessed us with these 3. You
Mhm.
trusted us
Mhm.
with these 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could be different,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I pray for those people that don't feel like their kids are a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say this. I remember being a young parent, idolizing my baby, my new baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my grandmother telling me, God is a jealous God.
Mm-hmm.
And if you love that baby more than you love him, he will take her from you. And it scared me so much.
Yeah.
It taught me in that moment
Mm-hmm.
that I had to put God above her.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that early age, it taught me to pray and thank God for what
Mhm.
even in the circumstances that it was in,
Mm-hmm.
it taught me to thank him
Yeah.
for that blessing.
Wow.
It was hard to see it as a blessing in the
Mhm.
moment,
Mm-hmm.
but it taught me
Yeah.
that it was a blessing.
Yeah. Our children definitely are a blessing.
Yes.
You have 3, I have 3, 3 daughters, but I can't forget my son-in-law, who is my son. So I have 4.
Yes.
I have 4, and I can't tell you how grateful I am for them.
Mhm.
I really and truly am grateful for them, and sometimes I see glimpses of how they make me feel when, and I think it was Mother's Day. Mother's Day just passed, and it was last month, and my daughter, she did a post, and she said, I truly don't know what we would do without you. And it really warmed my heart, because we go all the time, but I do my best to make myself as available as I can. With ministry, it's a lot, that we have happening, and my kids understand that as well. They definitely understand it, but it made me feel like I'm doing something right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, I'm
Yeah.
doing something right with my kids,
Yeah.
and just to see those things, it let me see some of what my worth was to them.
Yeah.
Because God could have chosen anybody to be their parent,
Yes.
but He chose me to do that, and it, like I said, it just made me feel really, really good when I was able to see that from my daughter. And like I said, I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right for her to be able to, say this, because it wasn't just something it was a short post, but it was very meaningful to me. I don't need 10,000 words, for something like that, but it was just something very short and very sweet, but it came from her heart, and it touched mine.
And that's the other thing too, to be reminded sometimes that you are worthy, and we do see you,
Yeah.
and we do appreciate you, and we do thank you.
Yeah.
And I don't think women are not just told that, but shown that a lot of the time, because it's expected, because we do it so much.
We do it all the time, and not really thinking about that. Not thinking about that so much. So we are going to take a break here.
Okay.
And we are going to pick this topic up again. So stay with us. Please subscribe to jordanchristiancenter.com. Hit the like button, and please drop us a comment and let us know what you think about this subject that we're talking about, is a woman's worth. So we will again just pause here, and we will pick this up again next week. Have a great day.
See you next time.